Continue. Nationalism in India. Simon Commission, Indian Statutory Commission. It was a statutory commission set up by the British under Sir John Simon. It was asked to study the constitutional system in India and suggest changes. Indians opposed the Simon Commission because all the members of the commission were Englishmen. There was no Indian in it. It did not provide any hope of Swaraj to Indians. Yes. So, Sir John Simon set up in response to the nationalist movement. The commission was to look into the functioning of the constitutional system in India and suggest some changes. The problem was that the commission did not have a single Indian member. They were all British. So, when the Simon Commission arrived in India in 1928, it was greeted with the slogan, "Go back, Simon." All the parties, including the Congress and the Muslim League, participated in the demonstration. In an effort to win them over, the Viceroy Lord Irwin announced in October 1929 a vague offer, a dominant status for India in an unspecified future and the Roundtable Conference to discuss a future constitution. This did not satisfy the Congress leader. The radicals within the Congress, led by the Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, became more assertive, and in December 1929, so this pic is about Simon Commission, that is Go Back Simon. Lahore Congress of 1929. The Congress session was held at Lahore in 1929 under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru. Following decisions were taken. The Congress declared Purna Swaraj as its aim. It was decided to celebrate 26 January every year as Independence Day. It was decided to start the civil disobedience movement to win Purna Swaraj. Yes. So in December 1929, under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru, the Lahore Congress formalized the demand of Purna Swaraj, that is, full independence for Indians. So, it was declared that 26th January 1930 would be celebrated as the Independence Day, when people were take a pledge to struggle for complete independence. But the celebration attracted very little attention. So, Mahatma Gandhi had to find a way to relate their abstract idea of freedom and to more concrete issues of everyday life. Salt March, Salt Satyagraha. Gandhiji decided to inaugurate the civil disobedience movement by breaking the salt law. Yes, because Mahatma Gandhi found in salt a powerful symbol that could unite the nation. So, on 31st January 1930, he sent a letter to Viceroy Irwin stating 11 demands. Some of these were a general interest, others were specific demands for different classes like industrialist to peasants. Yes, now Gandhiji and 78 of his followers started a march on foot from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi March. On 6th April 1990, they reached Dandi. Gandhiji prepared salt by using seawater, broke the salt law, and inaugurated the movement. The government imposed heavy tax on salt. Moreover, the production of salt was a monopoly of the government. So, the price of salt was very high. Therefore, Gandhiji opposed salt law. Yes. So, the most stirring of all was the demand to abolish the salt tax, because salt was something which is consumed by both rich as well as by the poor alike, and it was one of the most essential item of food. The tax on salt and the government monopoly over its production, Mahatma Gandhi declared, revealed the most oppressive phase of British rule. Yes, and Mahatma Gandhi letter was in a way an ultimatum, and apart from that, if the demand were not fulfilled by 11th March, the letter stated that Congress would launch a civil disobedience campaign. So Mahatma Gandhi started his famous Salt March accompanied by 78 of his trusted volunteers. The march was over 240 miles from Gandhiji Ashram to Sabarmati to Gujarat coastal town of Dandi. The volunteers walked for 24 days, about 10 miles a day. Thousands came to hear Mahatma Gandhi wherever he stopped, and he told them what he meant by Swaraj and urged them to peacefully defy the British. So on 6th April, he reached Dandi, ceremonially violated the law manufacturing salt by boiling of sea water. Yes. So this is a pic which tells about the boiling of sea water, taking water from sea and boiling sea water. Now, difference between those two, non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement, which non-cooperation movement launched in January 1921, civil disobedience movement March 1930. What was the causes of non-cooperation movement? Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh, Khilafat movement. Civil disobedience causes: economic depression, Simon Commission, salt law. Who are the participants in the non-cooperation movement? Students, teachers, headmasters and lawyers. Who are the participants in the civil disobedience movement? Rich peasants, poor peasants, industrialists, businessmen, working classes and women. Yes, in this events, thousands of students left government-controlled schools and colleges. Thousands of people broke the salt law, manufacturing salt and demonstrated in front of government salt factories. In this, headmasters and teachers resigned and lawyers gave up their legal practices. The council election were boycotted, most provinces except in Madras. In this civil disobedience movements, foreign clothes was boycotted and liquor shops were picketed. Peasants refused to pay revenue and chowkidari taxes. Villagers, officials resigned and forest law were violated. Which was non-cooperation movement ended in February 1922. It was withdrawn by Gandhiji because of the violence of Chauri Chara. A civil disobedience movement 1934. This was because it lost its momentum. Now, at the last, Gandhi-Irwin Pact. On 5th March 1931, Gandhiji entered into pact with Viceroy Irwin. By this Gandhiji-Irwin Pact, Gandhiji consent to participate in the second round table conference in London. In return, the government agreed to free the political prisoner. Yes. So, Gandhi-Irwin Pact, which consent to participate in the round table conference. Yes, because the government agreed to release the political prisoner. So, in December 1931, Gandhiji went to London for the conference, but the negotiations broke down and he returned disappointed. Back in India, he discovered that the government had begun a new cycle of repression. And in the meantime, Ghaffar Khan and Jawaharlal Nehru were both in jail. The Congress has been declared illegal and a series of measures has been imposed to prevent meeting and demonstrations and boycotts. With great apprehension, Mahatma Gandhi relaunched the civil disobedience movement for over a year. The movement continued, but by again 1934, its lost its momentum. Yes, thank you students.